It Happened on the Job, the podcast for relatable conversations with contractors. Sponsored by Goodman Insurance.
Welcome to It Happened on the Job. My name is Mike Fisher. With me, as always, is Brian Summers.
Yo.
Our guest today, episode 82, Aaron Provencal, CEO of 5-Star Restoration Construction. Did I get it right?
You did, yeah.
We were talking off air that I suck at remembering pronunciation.
That was actually pretty good, yeah.
I think I got it. I think I did it.
Only took 82 episodes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for joining us today, Aaron. We appreciate you taking the time. I know this is time out of your day that's not making you any money, but hopefully we'll help you out a little bit with some marketing. If you could, kind of to get started, maybe introduce yourself a little bit, how you got started in this industry, and that road to where you are now as CEO at 5-Star.
So we are a disaster restoration company. So we go in after someone's had a flood or a fire, and we do all the cleanup and then the reconstruction as well. So about 27 years ago, I started out cleaning carpets, actually. And so that kind of led into extracting water after someone's had a flood, and we kind of built up the company based off of sucking out water, drying things out, and then we got involved with content restoration after fire and smoke, and then we moved over into the reconstruction side of things. So it's been a long
So you started as just a carpet cleaner, and then eventually, and over time, just added services, added people, added manpower to be able to do these other things?
Yeah, so it was actually was the first employee of the company. So it was a husband and wife that had a carpet cleaning business.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you didn't start the company. You were just an employee at that time cleaning carpets, yep. And over time grew with the company, obviously.
Yeah, so I took over the carpet cleaning routes. The husband, he went off marketing to insurance agencies to get into the restoration field. Right. So that's kind of where we started. So from there, we just kind of built the company up. So the husband and wife that owned the company, they ended up getting a divorce. And without my knowledge, they sold the company to an outside investor. He was from the tech industry and just was looking for a company to buy to invest in. So myself and the original wife, we stayed on working for him. And so we worked for him for about 4 years, and he lost interest in the company and sold it back to us. So I've got, I'm partners with the wife of the original owner. So. Oh,
very cool. Yeah. So at what point did you get into management? What was the company doing at that point, and what are some of the steps you've taken to get it where you are today?
So when they sold the company, I think we were doing maybe $1 to $2 million a year. When the tech guy took over the company for about 4 years, he built it up. We were doing about maybe $3 to $4 million, somewhere in there. Now we've grown quite a bit. We're going to be north of 16 million this year. So.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Wow.
I have to imagine, I mean, as disastrous as they are and as crappy as they are, the fires have to be some guaranteed work for you guys.
Yeah, we've close to our Fairfield office. We've had some pretty severe fires in that area, so we've got quite a bit of work down there out of that.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, what's the timeline on something like that? I mean, you're not probably getting started right away. Is that like a year, 2 years out before you finish those homes in those areas?
It depends on severity. A lot of them might just be smoke or soot damage. So those go pretty quickly. You might do some cleaning, maybe some painting, deodorization. But if you're talking about a full reconstruction, then by the time we get the cleanup work on the property, all the plans, the permits done, and then the reconstruction, you're probably a good year out before those get finished.
And so are you guys self-performing everything from the restoration to the reconstruction, or do you guys sub out certain trades?
We do. I mean, we've got about 85 employees currently. So we do a lot of the in-house. Some of the larger projects we do subcontract out. So we do have a pretty large sub base on the reconstruction side, and they help us out for the larger projects.
Larger meaning probably like a total rebuild on a house or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely. When we're getting into those, we can't tie up all of our crews on something like that for a long time. So we're subbing out the rebuilds. Now,
of the 85, do you have a certain few? Do you designate them? Restoration versus construction. I mean, are they kind of potted out, I guess, into different groups?
Yeah. So each office has 3 teams. One is the mitigation team. So they go in and do the extraction of water, setting up of drying equipment. They'll handle mold remediation, that sort of thing. And then we've got a contents team. So they handle the personal property, the belongings, and cleaning. So after a fire, they'll go in and either clean the entire house top to bottom with all their personal property, or if they need to be packed out, they'll bring back all the belongings to our facility for cleaning and deodorization. And so that's kind of a specialized team there. And then the third team is the reconstruction team.
Wow. Yeah, you guys got it all then. So I asked because I know, I have a few clients that do a lot of that too, but I think most of the people in your space sub out all those different things, or they only specialize in one. So I think it's unique for you guys. And I'm sure you can speak to that a little bit more, that you guys control so many pieces of that whole process. Cause as a homeowner, you need all that, right? Like you need the contents, remediation all the way through the reconstruction. And so to have to deal with multiple contractors through your insurance adjuster is probably a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah, it makes it a lot smoother. It's a better process for the client that we're not having to deal with 3 different companies and finger pointing going on and everything.
Right.
So dealing with one person and have one person to blame if something goes wrong, then it's
and you don't have any gaps in the process either, right? Like one guy stops and assumes the next guy's going to pick it up where he finished off, but he skips a couple steps and now you're left with things that don't get done. Yeah, no. So I assume are you guys getting most of your business from insurance adjusters? Is it all business from that sector? What's the split there?
So yeah, probably 95% of our business is insurance related. We've got some prior clients that might come back for remodel work and such, so we'll take care of that for them. But majority of it is insurance repairs. And
is that something that what is it like having to generate and maintain those relationships with insurance companies?
Well, things have changed a lot in the last almost 30 years. So I'm used to building relationships with the insurance adjusters, and they'll send you leads. Nowadays, most of the insurance work goes through like third-party administrators. So
right.
They send it through a company that'll, if you get on their list, they'll send out the work to you. Just got to keep them happy, keep the insurance company happy, keep your client happy. So you've got like three customers on every job. So it's difficult to work through, but we figured it out.
What makes an insurance like a third party administrator? What makes them happy?
Yeah, that's the tough part. So the insurance company usually sets up guidelines that they want you to follow as far as estimating goes, practice, the speed you estimate the job, the speed you complete the job, all aspects of the job, and keeping the customer happy is the goal. So the insurance company will give these guidelines to the TPA, and the TPA is there to enforce those. So you've got to make sure you're following those guidelines, and they actually score you. So you've got to keep your scores up in order to keep the work coming in.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a very, dictated process, through different metrics. Yeah.
If you could maybe go back a little bit from when that the tech investor sold back to you guys, and I think you said 3 to 4 million in revenue, and now you're in upwards of 16. That span of time did you guys put a plan in place to get to the revenue level that you're at and the size that you're at? Or was it just it slowly grew organically? What was that process for you guys?
Any deliberate steps that were taken, or?
Yeah, we've always been big on hiring business consultants. So we've gone through quite a few. over the years. So it's usually working with one consultant for maybe 2 to 3 years and getting what you can out of them and then moving on to the next one. So we're always looking at planning. We have at least a 3-year plan of where we want to be 3 years from now, and we try to stick to that.
Interesting.
Very cool. Yeah.
Very intentional about that.
Yeah, very intentional. What from a hiring standpoint, especially carrying as many employees you do and managing the aspects, where are you guys finding people? What are you looking for in an employee? How does that process work for you guys? And if there are any struggles, how are you guys working through them?
So, the best thing is to keep the employees happy as much as possible. I mean, we're always looking for ways to make this a good environment to work in. It does feel like a family here, so we do have long-term employees. I mean, we've got a couple of people here over 15 years, quite a few that have been over 10, and a lot that have been over here for 5. So
wow.
Retaining the employees is the best thing for us.
It's a lot cheaper than hiring somebody.
It is. And we do have like a HR team that they're recruiting all the time for us. We do probably 3 interviews a week and just trying to find the right people for the right position. We're kind of slow to hire and fast to fire when there's issues. So I think that's a good.
So what are some of those things that you guys do to keep them happy? Some benefits you guys offer?
Yeah, I mean, we've got all kinds of benefits. We got the medical, we got the dental, vision. We do another thing that's really big on team building is we do volunteer days once a year. So we go out and do a big event. All the employees, all their family members, their kids, everybody comes out and helps. And we do like help out at the Ronald McDonald House or Sacramento Children's Home is another big one we just did last year. And we help them out around their properties. We do painting. We do yard cleanup. There's a lot of things that need to be done at those facilities.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't get done and put things off, and we're there to help them out. And we get a lot done in one day. So it's a great feeling, and it's very good with the team building.
That's awesome. Very cool. What is your, how long, I guess, first question, how long have you been CEO? What did that process look like to transition into that? Was that something that happened immediately when you and the other owner purchased it back from the other investor? Yeah.
So we purchased it in 2007. So it's been 13 years now. And I went directly into the CEO position at that point.
Very cool. And what does your management staff look like now, and who do you turn to when you have decisions to make and some of those other things?
So we've got kind of division managers and then heads for like our estimators. We've got a senior estimator that kind of oversees all of them. If there's issues that come up, they'll go to him first. If I need to get involved, I will, but usually let them try to get everything taken care of on their end first. Then our reconstruction project managers, we've got a senior one there. He handles any issues on that side. And then in our mitigation department as well, we've got heads in those and the contents.
So when it hits the fan, are these particular teams and those managers and directors, are they taking care of the issues? Or I guess probably a better way to put it is, at what point does it get in front of you? Does it have to take a lot, or are you involved in each of those decisions?
So I do a weekly production meeting with each team. So I'm pretty in tune with what's going on throughout the business. And I usually kind of hear about problems coming up before they happen. Mm-hmm. And so I'm pretty involved with all of that. And when something gets escalated too far, then I'm pretty well in tune with what's going on.
That's good.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. Just keep it in touch. Yeah. Do you have, outside of kind of just, I guess, keeping the peace and overseeing everything, are there specific daily roles or tasks that you as the CEO are involved in? No,
I do. Just trying to keep the wheels turning, whatever's needed. Every day is a little different on what's needed, helping out where I can, and even doing training with some of the guys and things like that. So.
Yeah. So maybe speak to that a little bit. What does your training process look like when you guys bring somebody on? Is it And I guess if you back up a little even further, when you're looking at hiring someone, are you looking for experience at all? Is there what are a couple of the key factors you're looking for when you're hiring somebody?
Well, what we've been focused on lately is with all of our growth, we don't have a lot of time to train. So we've been trying to hire people that already have restoration experience. There have been quite a few restoration companies closing their doors in our area over the past 7 years or so. So we've actually hired a lot of people that have already had the experience. You just need to be trained the 5-star way.
Right. And so kind of going to that, what's taking that next step? We obviously we speak to contractors all the time. This is episode 82 and we do this day in and day out with our clients, but there's definitely two different trains of thought there, right? It's one is let's hire the people and we'll train them however, train them the way that we want to and take the time to do that. Two is hire the experience and make sure that they fit culturally, but hiring the experience, to kind of streamline that process. So, being that you guys are hiring experience, what are you or looking to hire experience? What are you doing with them once you bring them in the door to, like you said, get them, to the 5-star status? Are there processes or things that you do, or are they following people?
Yeah, so they're typically shadowing either our senior estimator or project manager, or depending on what position they are. So they're usually a shadowing program for at least a couple weeks. And then they'll go around to different departments and see what their process is like. That way they kind of know the flow of the entire company.
Yeah.
And we like bringing on people from different companies because they do have some good ideas and things that might have worked very well at their company that they can bring to us and implement as well.
Yeah, I would have to imagine you run into people with bad habits. Is there how do you guys kind of work through that process? Because that might be the one downside, right? If you're looking at downsides to either of those options that I discussed a minute ago, one of the downsides to hiring people with experience is that they might have bad habits from an old company. So how are you guys combating that?
Yeah, it just takes time. We just have to set those expectations and make sure they follow them. And if it's a continuous thing where they can't meet what we need, then that's where we're at to try to find somebody else to fill that position.
That's the fast to fire.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the fast to fire. Slow to hire, fast to fire. Yeah, no, for sure. How has it worked for you guys, especially in the residential business and being in people's homes? How's it been for the past, 5 or 6 months through this social experiment, if you want to call it that we're in right now?
Yeah, it's actually gone pretty well. We've implemented things up front very early on with the masks and gloves and everything we could make the customer feel comfortable with us coming into the home. We've had probably about 30% of the customers that didn't want us to come out at first. So we were actually worked out pretty well because we were kind of backed up on our jobs and was able to get out
to catch up. Yeah.
Catch up and get some people taken care of quicker than we normally would. But it's kind of filtered out. I think most people are okay with us coming out now. I think we just have our Fairfield office, everybody's moving forward. Our Sacramento office, we still have a few people that are, we call on a COVID hold, but other than that, everybody else has been okay with us coming out.
Well, I have to imagine you guys are in one of those verticals that you don't really have the option to hold off, I guess. Most people don't, right?
Smoke, fire. It's like,
If your house smells like smoke or it's got an inch of water in it, you don't really have an option to say, don't come out right now.
There's a sense of urgency.
Right. Yeah.
For the most part.
I guess that probably helped through this process, versus the guy that's like doing, window, add-ons, like, those can wait, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. The reconstruction side is the only side that kind of took a little bit of a roll. But yeah, the emergency service stuff didn't slow down.
Yeah, that's.
Has it at least on the reconstruction side, has it picked up at all since, in the last few months, since things have seemed to kind of, well, I say seemed, but kind of relaxed in a way, or as opposed to how it was in March and April?
Yeah, we are very busy right now on the reconstruction.
I can believe that.
Yeah, we've got probably 10 positions open right now. We're trying to fill, and we got plenty of work coming in too. So trying to hire what we can. Yeah.
And how far is your reach in terms of, Sacramento and Fairfield? Are you guys pretty, grounded in those areas, or do you guys go out further? What is that radius?
We pretty much stay local. So our Fairfield office, we just cover the East Bay area from Benicia, Vallejo up to Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of Solano County. We do a little bit into Napa County, not too much. Sacramento, pretty much the greater Sacramento area. We don't do much travel. We'll go up to Tahoe depending on the size of the project, but not too often that far.
Got it.
So one thing that we like to talk about with our guests, and maybe it's not as big of a hot button for you guys, being that, you have all your work incoming from insurance TPAs, but from a marketing standpoint, what are you guys doing? Just because we see so many different levels of marketing, from especially digital marketing, right? I mean, we've talked about social media and being on a podcast and some of those other things. Are there things you guys are doing deliberately inside that space to market, or do you even have to?
Well, we tried it for a while, so we hired a couple of business development people to go out and get the non-TPA work coming in. We weren't real successful with that. I've never really had much of a marketing background, and so I didn't provide them with a lot of directions. So we've been kind of just tuning into our TPA work. We understand the business concepts. We're able to make it work. A lot of people don't like doing it because the margins seem to be lower, but what we focused in on is our estimating, making sure that we can capture everything that they'll actually allow versus focusing on things that they might reject. And we've made that work and been very successful at that, and grown quite a bit because of it.
Yeah, I guess if you're doing 16 million in work and still busy, you don't really have a huge need to be out there trying to get different types of work, especially.
Yeah, and it sounds like a good mix, right? In terms of at least trying to check out to see, hey, is there any other ways that we can kind of grow the business, but not, forgetting and neglecting your main source of business, and then realizing, what, we do really well here. And I think there's ways to actually grow this. Like you were saying, find other ways that they can accept things as opposed to reject them. That's a way to, increase that bottom line at the same time and help those that you guys are helping. So very cool.
So from the business development guys that you guys were talking to and trying to help you out, what were some of those things that they were doing that weren't really working out for you guys?
They were primarily focused on property management companies.
Trying to get more commercial style work,
builders,
I guess.
Yeah. Builders doing warranty work from leaks and things. So we did pretty good with them. They did bring in some work, but it just wasn't enough to really justify making that a focus. So we just went back to what we do well, and we're focusing on that, and it's been successful.
Out of curiosity, how long ago was that?
So they were involved about 4 years ago and left about a year and a half ago.
Okay. So kind of right on that bubble. I asked because I feel like this industry is kind of on that tipping point right now, right? Like 5, 6, 8 years ago, anybody doing this stuff, you were kind of way ahead of the curve, and there wasn't a lot of people who had the open-mindedness or awareness to maybe receive that type of, marketing. But I think this industry specifically is kind of right on that cusp where it might be at a tipping point, and maybe more people are open to receiving that kind of stuff. But like I said, I think what you guys are doing, I don't know that there's many insurance adjusters or property management people out there surfing Instagram all day, looking for their next remediation contractor to help them out. It's different than the guy building pools and patio covers for a backyard, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So what does the future look like for you guys? I know you guys talked about you guys always having kind of a 3 to 5 year plan out in front of you. What's the future look like? Are there plans to grow or expand or do anything, or you guys comfortable?
Yeah, we're looking at continued growth. Like I said, we're trying to hire. We've got quite a few positions open, and we've got more work than we can handle right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely looking to grow over the next 3 years, and we'll see where it goes.
Is that growth inside the 2 locations you're at now, or maybe another location, or?
Well, we're just sticking with the 2 locations currently, but yeah, there's potential for a 3rd location coming soon.
Very
wink,
cool.
wink.
I was going to say, yeah. Breaking news. Heard it here first on the It Happened on the Job podcast. Buzz alert. Perfect. Oh, awesome. Aaron, I think it's been great.
Yeah.
We've had a great time. We appreciate you coming on. Before we go, just in case there are TPAs listening and want to know how to get a hold of you guys, how do the people find you? Websites, phone numbers, social media, anything?
Yeah, so our phone number is 916-631-1693. Our website is 5, which is spelled out FIVE, starrestoration.com. And then our Facebook is facebook.com/5-star restoration.
Awesome.
5 is spelled out, FIVE.
Spell them out. Awesome. Very cool, man.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much. Stay in touch and stay safe out there. Hopefully you guys got a lot of work coming with all the smoke remediation pretty soon. Unfortunately, but
Every year.
good thing there's people like you out there, right? Helping them out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Have a
Aaron.
good day.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and give us a like or 5 stars or whatever means you like us.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. And check out our website for more video content and extras.
While you're there, shoot us a message if you want to be a guest. We'd love to have you on.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.